Hey, oh my God, I am so excited for this. I think I'm a little bit too excited because if anyone saw my Instagram stories this morning, you will know that I only had 4 hours sleep because my brain decided to wake me up at 4:30 this morning, like, I think I just got a bit too excited. So I'm really, really excited that you are here because we are going to beat procrastination for good. I want to show you some strategies that actually work. Okay, so I'm not here to bullshit you. I'm not going to be like, you just need more motivation. Like, none of that. Okay. So guys, who's with me? Drop it in the chat. Are you ready? Are you serious about turning procrastination into action and not just paying lip service to it? If you are, can you please pop yes or a hell yes in the chat for me? I want to see that we're serious here about taking action. Yeah, I'm really fab. We got some yeses blowing up. Love it. So first of all, let's just go through what we're going to be covering today. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is I'm going to be talking about why procrastination is damaging more than just your to-do list or your time. So I think it's really important that we understand why we do something to then be able to break it. And then also I'm going to talk to you about why willpower and motivation doesn't actually work. So I'm going to show you the science behind that as well. And I'm also, I've just noticed a typo on my slide. I do apologise. I did check them, dyslexic, so obviously I'm not very good at spotting my own typos. And then we are going to look into how we can turn that overthinking and procrastination into consistent action. If you've been with me before, you will know that I don't do time management in the traditional way. I do energy-led time management. So what I'm going to be showing you today, guys, is those time management tactics that are energy-led and brain-based, because I think when we add a little bit of neuroscience into what we do, we can use our brain to hack our time management. It's going to make things stick. I also really encourage you, if you haven't already, to book yourself in for a procrastination breakthrough call with me. I'm just going to drop that in the chat now so that you can book yourself in for a free call with me. And when we go through this today, we're going to look at obviously the why, we're going to look at why willpower doesn't work, and then we're obviously going to look at some strategies instead. Because I think procrastination is one of those things like we all struggle with at some points, right? And I just want to share this client example because bless this client, she came to me and she had so many ideas and so many offerings that she wanted to create, and it was causing her so much overwhelm. It caused her so much overwhelm. She had so many good ideas in her head. She wasn't actually doing anything with them. Has anyone been in that position? Just give me a little hands up or whatever, where you've had so many ideas, you don't know where to start. Zoe's giving me some guilty looks over there. Like we've got so many good ideas, we don't know where to start. Now, the reason I want to share this with you is because probably like my client, you are not lazy. You are not lacking in motivation. Actually, what it is about the brain and it's about this energy-led time management. So if you're on this call watching the replay and you're going, oh God, I just need more motivation. I'm lazy. No, it's not about that. It's not because you haven't got big dreams. If anything, you might have too many dreams. Like my client, you've got too many ideas. So, a little bit about who I am. If I haven't had the pleasure of having you on a masterclass before, thank you so much for trusting me and being here for the next hour. My name is Alice. I'm a time management coach and speaker. And I generally work with ambitious, busy, probably got a touch of ADHD, business women, unfuck their flow and take action. Okay, so we are all about creating a life and a business by design. So that means no procrastination, no overwhelm, no having too many ideas. I don't know where to start. Okay, so I'm all about working with people so that they've got clarity, they've got structure, they're getting results, and we're doing it through energy-led time management, not just the traditional stuff. Okay, so I like to think of myself as a recovering perfectionist. My perfectionism definitely fueled my procrastination. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know as well that I'm a bit of an accidental digital nomad, but I'm currently at the moment in my hometown in Kent. I'm meant to be in Bali right now, but Kent, Bali, same. Apparently it's the same weather at this time of the year, I've been told. So I'm currently in Kent, but you'll often find me floating around the world in Southeast Asia. And just a bit of housekeeping before we dive in, guys. Let's keep this session high energy and alive, okay? I know we're not in the room physically together, but just bring your best energy. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out. And also, just let's get our mindset in check, right? Just know that small tweaks can make a big difference. So if you come onto this call and you're listening to this for the next hour and you think, it's not going to work for me, you're right, it ain't. If you come in going, do you know what? A small tweak is going to make a little difference, and that little difference is going to add up. Guarantee you're going to take something valuable from today. If we're not already connected on social media, guys, please do. Please feel free to tag me. I'll reshare. I'll celebrate as well. Going into the chat right now as well is a workbook. Does anyone else love a workbook? Yep. So a worksheet is going in there. Please modify it. You're allowed to, use it as you need. So just make a copy of it. It will go into your Google Docs. And then obviously you can print it out later if you want, etc. And as I said, if you want to get yourself booked on for a procrastination breakthrough call, again, the link is in the chat there. Please book yourself in for those. My time is very limited, so do be quick if you want to get one of those booked in as well. So I'm really, really excited that you're here, guys. Because I think procrastination is probably one that a lot of us struggle, whether we're business owners, whether we're corporate, whether we've got ADHD or not. I think procrastination probably is something we all struggle with. And I saw this quote and it cracked me up. Procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. And I was like, oh my God, yes. So I'm really excited that you are here, and we're going to be looking, as I said, into energy-led time management to beat the procrastination. But I do have to caveat it, guys, because this is just the first step. If you are serious about change, procrastination isn't something that you're just going to magically fix because you implemented one hack and you turned up to one webinar. It probably is something ingrained, and therefore, it isn't just a quick fix with, I did a webinar and now I'm done. The reason why my clients succeed, the reason why they get success isn't because they rocked up to one of my free webinars. It's because they put themselves in that environment of success, of action taking. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Business by Design program right at the end, because if you are serious about taking action and you want that community and the coaching and the support to do it, Business by Design group coaching program is for you. Because obviously we need to pair that energy-led time management. We need to pair that with a long-term strategy. And we also need to pair that with CEO identity. So the mindset, the identity, the self-confidence, all that stuff, that needs to go with it as well. And today, obviously, we've only got time to just cover the energy-led stuff. Cool. So let's keep going, guys. And if you've been on my workshops before, you'll know that I am huge on awareness. When we have awareness of what's working for us and what's not, then we can make the changes. So in true coaching style, I always like to bring in a bit of a temp check to see where we're at. Now, if you are a workbooker like me, these questions are also in your workbook, so feel free to type away. Or if you're old school as well and you've got a notebook with you, feel free to get that out. But I just want to spend a couple of minutes here thinking about the bigger picture and where you're at the moment. So think about this for a few moments. If procrastination wasn't running your show, how different would your life or your business look like in 12 months? Maybe even as little as 6 months or a month. And I also want you to think about, is there a particular area of your life where you're not taking action right now? And how could procrastination be holding you back? So maybe there's a project that you haven't got going on. You haven't started. You've been saying it for months. Well, maybe you're being really inconsistent posting on social media, despite you knowing that's the thing that you need to do to grow the business and get some new clients. Where are you not taking action right now? Also have a think about what's something that you've been putting off. Maybe it's weeks, maybe it's months. And it would make such a difference if you just bloody did something. We've all got that guilty thing, haven't we? That one project, that one thing where we're like, I keep putting it to the back burner. And maybe even think about what specific results could you have achieved if you weren't stuck in those cycles of procrastination. Maybe it's something personal, a health goal. Maybe it's something professional. You know you're holding yourself back from achieving the next income level or your visibility. And if anyone's brave enough and happy to share in the chat what came up for them, I would love to see what's going on for the group. I'd love to see what's going on. But whilst we're thinking about that, whilst we're jotting some stuff down, I just want to share a client example with you about the power of getting over your procrastination. And hopefully you can resonate with this. Because I had a client that came to me, and bless her, she'd been procrastinating, no joke, for 5 years. You might have seen me talk about this on my social media. 5 years she'd been procrastinating. And she wanted to put this tarot course together. And she'd never done it before. But she had all the makings there. She had all the ideas. She had all the experience. She even, get this, guy, she even had a wait list of people that said, if you put that together, I'd buy it. But she still hadn't done anything with it. Within 2 weeks, we had it all mapped out, good to go, ready to launch in 2 weeks. She'd gone from procrastinating on an idea for 5 years to doing it in 2 weeks. That is the power of taking action. So what's your equivalent? What's that thing that you've been sitting on? Maybe hopefully it's not as long as 5 years, but what's that thing that you've been sitting on where you're like, do you know what, that's like money on the table, or that's that big goal that I'm not getting going with? So hopefully that's an example, a powerful example that you might even relate to go, oh my God, yeah, I see myself, a little bit of that in myself as well. So I'm just going to check the chat, see if we've got anything in there. Cool. Yeah. And do remember to get yourself booked in for a call. And also, guys, I've just dropped in there as well my YouTube link because I'd launched that a couple of weeks ago. And I'll be honest with you, that is something that I've been procrastinating on for over a year. But I've got some more videos coming out really soon on why we procrastinate and also some tactics as well. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel because a new video drops every Monday. Cool. Shana, the examples sound very similar to me. Yeah. And I think it's really common, Shana. I think, you know, regardless if we're in corporate or have a business, like these are things that I've really can resonate with us, right? Joe is saying more organised, better work-life balance, healthier. I procrastinate and do things last minute for the dopamine hit. Yeah, really, really common, right? Yeah. So that big scary thing, like my client, you know, it felt too big for her to put that course together. So obviously then she was going for the little last minute dopamine hitters, you know, the easy wins. And then you do that every day, and then suddenly before you know it, 5 years have gone past. So some saying, been avoiding working on my relationship status for many years, use exams as an excuse. Yeah. And now the exams are over and things are going really well at work, but I'm stuck in taking the next steps and getting out there and meeting people. Yeah. And I think as well, I love that honesty, Som. So thank you for sharing. Sometimes it then becomes a habit, doesn't it, guys? That our procrastination kind of then gets inbuilt into us because we've done it for such a long time. And again, that's why sometimes we need that coach or the group to, you know, kick us out of it, get us into the environment where we're doing something a bit different. Cool. So I've got a few more reflection questions for you guys. How much energy do you waste thinking about what you should be doing instead of actually doing it? And just thinking back over to the last week, okay, it might have been a bit different because we had the bank holiday if you're in the UK, but how many hours do you think you spent procrastinating, avoiding, or not doing the things you said that you were going to do? If you're brave enough to share, you're more than welcome. But even if you just quietly say it to yourself, like, oh God, hang on. And let's be honest as well, how often does procrastination leave you feeling guilty, frustrated, or maybe even doubting yourself? And I think this is really important to like quantify our procrastination. And the reason for this is because when we do that, we can start getting rid of the excuses that we don't have enough time. One of the things I'm really big on, as you know, guys, energy, is that time management isn't about managing time. It's about managing you and your energy. And often people say, oh, I haven't got time. That's not the case. So sometimes we need to quantify how much we're procrastinating to see that actually we do have the time. And I'll just give you an example of one of the ladies that came to work with me, because she claimed that she didn't have time for her fitness, didn't have time for health. Classic that, isn't it? We're all too busy. And I made her do a time management audit, much to her despair. I made her do this time management audit, and she came back to me a little bit guilty and sheepish and said, I do have time to go to the gym. I was like, okay, where? She was like, I calculated that at the weekend I spent 8 hours procrastinating. It's like, what? She was like, yeah, just things like, and this was a weird one, but she was like, yeah, my husband was watching telly on a foam roller for a couple of hours, like stretching out and stuff, and I just was sat there on my phone. Well, that's 2 hours gone, isn't it? You know, and then she's saying she hasn't got time to go to the gym. So sometimes when we can quantify where we're procrastinating and how much we're procrastinating, we can then start going, oh, okay, now I could claim back those 2 hours, those 4 hours or whatever it is to do the thing that I want to do. Now, if you're brave enough and you want to do the time and energy audit, it is in the chat. So you are more than welcome to do that for yourself. And it's also there on the screen as well. So yeah, just have a think about that. Like, how much is it costing you? And you've probably realized just that, guys, that procrastination is probably costing you more than just time. It's probably costing you the goals, the dreams. It's probably costing you the energy, that, you know, the mental worry, or like you're thinking about it, but you're not actually doing it. Could be money left on the table, like my client. Could be confidence as well, because to be honest, guys, every time you put something off, you're breaking that little promise to yourself. You're denting your self-worth and your self-identity by saying, oh, I'm going to do X, and then not doing it. And this can really affect our identity of who we think we are. And then we start doubting ourselves and going, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And that becomes then our inner voice and our inner critic. So that's why it's really important, and I'm really glad you're here, that we're getting over our procrastination. Now, I just want to give you a perspective on procrastination that perhaps you haven't thought of before. And I think personally, this is something really important to understand, but doesn't actually get mentioned a lot. Not all procrastination is the same. I think there's chronic procrastination and situational procrastination. So let me just explain. So for some people, procrastination is chronic. It shows up everywhere. They're always leaving things to the last minute. They're running late to appointments. Deadlines creeping up. It's just like a constant pattern, a habit in their life. They're chronically procrastinating on things. But then for others, sometimes it's more situational. So maybe they're fine doing the majority of things. Tasks get done, projects get done. But there's that one thing, like my client in the tarot course, for example, there's that one thing that's holding them back. It could be a task, it could be a decision, and everything else gets done first, but that one keeps just sitting there staring at you. And the reason why it matters is because if you understand what type of procrastination it's fallen into, is it chronic or is it situational, you're going to have a better chance at fighting it. Does that make sense? So if you realise that, oh, hang on a minute, I'm not a chronic procrastinator, it's just a situational thing that I'm procrastinating. For example, I had a client that was procrastinating on her social media. She wasn't really a chronic procrastinator. It's just that one thing that she was holding herself back from, because actually what it came down to is she felt silly. She felt vulnerable. She didn't want to put her face on camera. She didn't want to show up, and show the world her. That's not how she'd been brought up. That's not kind of her background. So it felt very different for her. So she wasn't used to it. So whilst in the business, there was loads of tasks that she was quite happy cracking on with, that was always the stumbling block for her. So that was a situational thing rather than a chronic procrastination. Is that making sense, guys? I just want to have a little sense check. If it is, give me a nod. Yeah, fantastic. So I've got another example actually with one of my clients, Jackie. So productive. Like, Jackie was one of these people, like, you want something done, give it to Jackie. But she kept procrastinating on her invoicing. Why? Now, leaving money on the table, she's done the work. All she needs to do is send off an invoice. Intellectual girl, she knows how to click a button and send an invoice off. So why is she procrastinating? It wasn't a chronic thing, because everything else she was getting shit done. It was situational. What it turned out was because she didn't feel worthy of charging for her services and her business because she loved what she did. And she got conditioned and brought up, probably like a lot of us did, that hard work is how you earned money. Anyone else grew up with that belief? I definitely did. You know, hard work, thing you get your money. And because now she had her own business and she loved what she did, she was like, well, it's not hard work. I enjoy it. So then she didn't feel worthy of charging what she needed to charge and sending out the invoice. And that was the thing that was holding her back. So again, not chronic, but situational. So hopefully this is making sense. So I also said that I would share with you why willpower doesn't work. And I call it the willpower myth. And sometimes I call it the myth of motivation as well, because motivation and willpower can often come together. And this is why, guys, I think the try harder approach doesn't actually work and could actually be more damaging for us. Now, if you don't know my backstory, I'm just going to quickly share it. In 2019, I had a huge burnout. And prior to 2019, I was the queen of time management. Everyone said I was the queen of time management. I was the queen of productivity. You know, I was shit hot at time management, doing all the right things. Pomodoro, eat that frog, 5 a.m. miracle morning, tick, tick, tick. And I burnt out. Why? Because I wasn't looking after me. So yes, I was really great at time management, but I wasn't good at energy management. I wasn't good at looking after me. So this is why after the burnout, I was like, something's got to change it. Something's not working. This traditional time management isn't working. And this is how I came up with the energy-led time management. But this is also why I'm so passionate, guys, about realizing that, the try harder thing, it don't work. The try harder, the hustle harder, the just have more motivation, be more disciplined, use more willpower, all that stuff that you usually hear on those kind of generally American like motivational videos on YouTube don't really work. So what is it that we need instead? Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired. Sure, you can push through once, twice, a few times, but you're eventually going to run it thin and you're going to slip back. So, have you ever noticed that you're on a diet and you do really well? You're saying no to the sugary biscuits at work and you're going to the gym, but then you have a bad day or you have a bad night's sleep and you're tired and then diet goes through the window and you've just absolutely gorged on a packet of like 𝗕𝗏𝘁𝗶𝘁. Why? Because you were tired. Well, you just didn't have the energy, the bandwidth. Or maybe the diet was going really well, but then some arse cut you up on the motorway. So you've come into work, you're absolutely fuming, and then you've gone and nailed some chocolates or, whatever it is your guilty pleasure is. Because your willpower had gone. Now, this is actually called ego depletion. Psychologists call this ego depletion. This is the idea that willpower is like a battery. So every time you use it, the charge runs down. So yes, you resist the biscuit, you force yourself through that boring task, you say no to Netflix. All this requires what? Willpower, right? But we know that actually it's draining our willpower battery. And there's only so much we can keep taking from the battery before we completely run out of it, which is why we need to keep ourselves topped up. So psychologists like Daniel Kahneman, he's the author, the Nobel Prize winner actually, of the book Thinking Fast and Slow. Quite sciencey, so only read it if you're up for like in depth. It was quite heavy for me, to be honest. But really great stuff that he wrote in there, saying, he was showing that our brains run on two systems. System 1, which is the fast, automatic, effortless. And system 2, which is just slower, more deliberate, but it's also more effortful. So system 1 is the one that we're doing subconscious, we're not really thinking about it. System 2 is the one that requires that willpower, right? So every time you're running on willpower, you're forcing system 2 into overdrive. And those efforts takes energy. It burns. And it comes back to this ego depletion. The more you keep forcing yourself through something, the more drained you become until eventually you cave. And obviously we begin in the diet example. That's when you cave and go, sod it, I'll have a biscuit. Oh, well, I've had one, I might as well have the whole packet. And that's what happens. So this is why, from a neuroscience perspective, I don't think we should rely on willpower to beat our procrastination. If this is making sense, can you just drop a yes in the chat? Just, I've got getting some nods. Okay, cool. Because I know that this is a very different approach to what normally gets taught in the world of time management, which is just be more disciplined, hustle harder, get up at 5 a.m. So just want to see where we're at. Cool. And I love your honesty there, Joe, as well, about how many hours do you waste? 4 hours a day, easy. Yeah. Maybe do the audit, lovely, and see what comes up for you. And then maybe you could identify those exact spots to go, oh, do you know what? It's the morning that I'm a procrastinator. It could be the evenings, for example. A lot of times people are super productive in the mornings, and then I don't know, kids are in bed or they're a little bit tired in the afternoon, and that's when procrastination is more likely to like sink in. So it might be useful for you to spot a pattern. I had one client who always, bless her, was fiffing in the afternoons. And when we did her audit, we worked out that actually she was a morning person. Like she was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed at 7 a.m. Not me, FYI. And so come 4 p.m, she was like, I'm done, I'm out. So we just rearranged her day and like when she was operating so that she could maximize that morning and save the afternoon, the last period for less brain taxing tasks. Make sense? Yeah, no worries, Shana. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. So glad it's interesting and definitely, yeah, catch the replay as well. Cool. Fantastic. So hopefully you've realised, guys, that I am not going to just tell you to have more discipline, be more motivated. You know, I am going to give you the technique around the energy-led time management. So we've established what doesn't work. Should we now look into what actually does? So willpower doesn't work. What do we need to do instead? When action feels hard, guys, your brain needs to take the easy route. Your brain is always going to default to what's easy, what is safe. This is why you've probably heard of instant gratification. Yeah, we've heard of that. Yeah. Your brain is going to default to that instant gratification, that quick dopamine hit. I think, Joe, you might have said that. It's the quick dopamine hit, isn't it? It's the scrolls on social media. It's the, oh, well, you know, I just tick off a few jobs over here because, you know, yeah, they're easy admin, but I can tick 10 jobs off in an hour. It makes me feel good rather than doing that one meaty thing that you know you should be doing. Could even be things like, I'm going to, you know, just now's the right time to reorganize the sock drawer. It's like literally not on your list. It's really not going to help the bigger picture, but you're like, right, today's the day. Yeah, I'm getting some guilty looks for you. Or if you're like me, working from home, I'm a snacky girl. So I'm like, I wonder what's in the fridge. Opening up the fridge multiple times. It doesn't change, by the way. It doesn't matter how many times you look in the fridge. It doesn't magically appear like more delicious food. But you keep looking in the fridge, right? This is not laziness, guys. This is a combination of the brain wiring and low energy. Like we just said, you know, the ego depletion, the fact that it isn't about motivation, etc. We've just looked at obviously systems 1, systems 2 in the brain. So it's not about the laziness, it's about the brain wiring and the low energy. And this as well, if I've got any neurodiverse people on the call, I'm afraid it's going to affect us even more if you've got ADHD. So be even more aware of it's not just about time, but it's also about energy as well. And this is exactly why, with my story of the burnout, why I came up with the energy-led time management, so that we can create conditions to take in action so it is the easier thing for us to do. So there's kind of 3 pillars that I just want to guide you through. There's 3 pillars, 3 truths, whatever you want to call it, okay? The first one is you don't actually need more hours in the day. You just need more energy to optimize the hours that you already had. Because I'll be really honest with you, if I gave you more hours, you probably wouldn't be more productive. You'd probably procrastinate more. So what we don't need is more hours. What we need is more energy to optimize the hours that we've already got. Because we've all got the same 24 hours in the day. The difference is how much energy we've got available to that hour. So going back to what we were saying about being morning birds, night owls, etc. You know, if you're a morning person, do you think the morning person's going to operate better at a 9 a.m. or 9 p.m? Hands up if you think it's 9 a.m. Hands up if you think it's 9 p.m. So obvious, right? But we rarely think about it when it comes to ourselves and our time. And one of my clients realized that she was using her best morning hours, because she was a morning person, to do faith and admin. So no wonder she was never getting the big creative, juicy, meaty projects going, because she was trying to do them in the afternoon when she was out, she was tapped out. And then it just can be something as simple as that. I did mention the YouTube channel. I'm just going to pop the link again in the chat because one of the videos that I've got coming up really soon is about why we procrastinate. And I go into the chronotypes, which is the morning night owl type thing. I go into that a little bit more detail. That's going to be dropping in a couple of Mondays' time. So if you haven't already, head to the YouTube, click subscribe because those videos come out every Monday. So I think it's scheduled for like in a couple of weeks' time. But that will be a really good video because it's going to be showing you about why we procrastinate and telling you a little bit more about these chronotypes. But yeah, it's not about having more hours in the day, guys. It's about having more energy. So think about that. Not just how do I get more time? What time hack what productivity hack can I do? It's like, can I optimize my energy? So maybe it's actually rather than scrolling social media and drinking a coffee first thing in the morning, I'm just going to go for a 15-minute walk. I'm going to do a bit of yoga, breath work. I'm going to energize myself first thing in the morning because then I know my morning activities, whatever I'm doing for work, I'm going to get more bang for my buck because I'm going to have more energy, more brain power because I've energized myself first thing in the morning. Does that make sense? So it's about how we're optimizing our time, but optimizing our energy. The second thing that I want to bring to your attention, so a pillar or truth, is that not all tasks are created equal. There's fillers and there's killers. So I call them energy fillers and energy killers. What do I mean by that? Well, fillers are the things that fuel you, and the killers are the things that drain you. And going back to the burnout story, it was clearly obvious that I'd got the balance wrong and that I had too many killers. And over time, that bankrupted me. Now, there are some generic fillers. I think it's fair to say that maybe things like putting on music, maybe a quick walk, fresh air, bit of journaling, bit of yoga, all these kind of things are fillers. And then generally there's some universal killers, energy killers for people. So things like multitasking, back-to-back meetings on Zoom, being on tech all day, like these are things that are going to kill your energy. But not everyone is the same and not all tasks are the same. So what might be an energy filler for me might not be an energy filler for Zoe. What might be an energy killer for Melissa might not be an energy killer for Joe. We're all different. So I want you to not just think about the time of day that you're doing the task, because that's what we tend to do when we're planning, don't we? We go, right, I've got a 9 a.m. meeting, then at 10 a.m. I'm going to do that, 11 a.m. I've got this. We're thinking about the task, but we're not thinking about the time. We're not thinking about the energy behind it. We're just thinking about the time of day we're doing it. So I just want to give you a couple of seconds actually on that and just pop it in the chat. What are your energy killers and fillers? What are your energy killers and fillers? And it might be something that you go, I don't know, I've never thought about this. So let me know in the chat. Maybe there's some things that drain you, some things that fill you up. And everyone's different. Personally, a bit of an energy filler for me, going to the gym and lifting something heavy. Kickboxing. That for me definitely is a filler. But I know not everyone's like that. My friend's very into crochet. Can't say it tickles my pickle, but it's a filler for her. Everyone's different. I like to top my cup up with a nice bubble bath, to be honest. That is going to be on tonight's plan after my accidental 4 hours sleep. But I've got another mate, it's like, oh, a bath, sitting in your own dirty water. No, thanks. So, everyone's different, right? So share a little bit of inspiration. What's our fillers and killers? What we got going on? So Melissa's saying some phone calls, meetings. Yeah. Walking. Yeah, I'm the same with you, Zoe. I love a walk. Yeah. Killer, scrolling. Yeah, killers, negative vibes, people. Yeah, long meetings. Yeah, we don't want that, Joe. None of that, thank you. And yeah, Zoe, the walking one's an interesting one, right? There's a study that shows that just a 29-minute walk in nature can boost your productivity by 40%. Yeah, cool. Villas, water, sea, sauna, walking, singing in quiet. Yeah, amazing. Love it. Yeah. So what we tend to do as well is we tend to neglect the fillers. Who's guilty of that? Not enough fillers in your diary. Yeah, I'm the same, and that's how I ended up burning out. So now when I do my planning and stuff like that, I religiously make sure that I've got filler time for me, because I know that I've got to top that battery up. You wouldn't go out all day without topping up your phone, right? Or whatever. It's the same. Cool. I just want to share a quick hack actually with you that's just sprung to mind. One of my clients, he color coded his diary, and he color coded the fillers as grey. And if there was too much grey in a day or too much grey in a week, he'd get his PA to shift some shit about, because he was like, no, energy, got to protect it. I mean, how great is that? Like, so simple, but how bloody brilliant is that? But again, this is what I'm saying. The simple things can add up, because now he had this visual, the awareness. You know what I was saying earlier? The awareness is really important. Now he's got this visual going, oh no, next week, too much grey on Monday, let's move some stuff about. Because let's be honest, we can't live a world where we never ever get drained. There's going to be killers, aren't there? But we have to balance it out with the fillers. So my third truth, my third pillar, my third rule to energy-led time management is the alignment. Okay. So it's about the right task at the right time in the right state. And this is what will create that flow. You know, when you're just feeling in flow and it's like, oh, this is good. This feels good. If you're a morning person, and that's when you should be doing deep work, maybe for you, that's like writing content, strategy, sales calls, please save the admin and the easy tasks and the boring tasks later in the day. Like, optimize that beautiful energy you've got in the morning. When you get this right, that's when things are going to feel easier. And that's when you're going to realize, oh, she was right. I don't need more hours in the day. I need more energy to optimize the time that I have. Because it's not about pushing harder. I don't want you forcing productivity. I want you fueling your productivity. Because when you do that, that's going to help you banish your procrastination. When you're enjoying what you're doing, when you're feeling in flow, when you're feeling in alignment, do you think you're going to procrastinate as much? Heck no. So some of the examples that I gave earlier, like my client who didn't do the invoicing, she didn't do it because she didn't know how to do it. Of course she bloody knew how to do it. She wasn't doing it because it didn't feel right for her. She didn't feel aligned. She felt, oh, I feel a bit icky charging somebody for doing something that I love. You know, it didn't feel aligned to her. So this alignment of the right task, the right time, being in the right state, etc., this actually is really important when it comes to beating our procrastination. So think about as well how you can design your day so that you can take action, so that action taking actually becomes easier. There becomes less resistance to it. And again, it could be something as simple as just thinking about the time of day that you're doing something and is it aligned with your energy, just so it doesn't feel so hard. Like I just said, I love going to the gym, but I also am not immune. I'm human. I like to procrastinate. My brain likes to do like everyone else does. And I know I'm the type of person that if I don't go to the gym first thing in the morning, it doesn't happen. So I have to set up my day, identify the days I'm going to go to the gym and make sure, right, those are the mornings I haven't got clients. I don't have to be on online by a certain time. I can have the flexibility of going to the gym, because I know the type of person that I am, that actually I need to make sure that I go first thing in the morning. Because if I go in the afternoon, it's not likely to get done because there's more resistance, there's more friction. It's not in flow. Is that making sense? Fab. Cool. I just share actually an example of one of my clients, Catherine. Now, I do appreciate it was probably a little bit easier for her because she has her own business. So if you're working in corporate, I know it can be harder, and I've been there, I've done the 9 to 5. Catherine came to me and she was an early bird. I don't know why all my clients are early birds because I'm not. Anyway, Catherine came to me. She's an early bird. And she'd been so conditioned into 9 to 5 that she was shoehorning her day into 9 to 5 in her own business because that's what she'd always been taught. And we quickly realised that wasn't working for her. And actually, she wanted to start work at 7 in the morning because by 2, she was done. So we just shifted her day about. She was getting up at 5 a.m. anyway, but then sort of like not really doing anything for the first 4 hours because she was kind of waiting to start work at 9. So I was like, just start work at 7 if that works for you. So she started work at 7. By 2, she's pretty much done 90% of her day. She's smashed it. She's a morning bird. She's done. So now at 2 o'clock, she would take the afternoon off. So then she would do some energy fillers. She was doing this craft project she'd been meaning to do for years. She got to see friends, got to see her mum. She sometimes just hung out with her cats. She went for walks. She read. She did all the things she never had time for in the past, but it wasn't about time, was it? It was about energy. Because what she was doing previously was trying to drag herself through the day, get to 5 o'clock because that's when you've finished work, and then going and flopping on the sofa at 5 p.m. because she didn't have the energy for it. But because now she stopped at 2 and she did have the energy and she'd pretty much done all her work, and sometimes, she would log back on at maybe 4 or 5, just to top and tail a couple of emails or a bit of admin or whatever, catch up on a few last things. But she was so much more energized. Is that making sense? It's such a subtle shift, but it's a bloody game changer, right? So this is the power of energy-led time management. Cool. So I wanted to be really clear with you from the start that obviously today we have just scratched the surface on this concept of energy-led time management and how it could be the absolute game changer for your time management and your procrastination. But I'm also really honest with you guys that this is just like scratching the surface. And if you want to be in that environment where action taking is the norm, if you want to be in that environment where we're all like ready to, as I say, and take action, beat the procrastination, then obviously I would love to share a little bit more about business by design, which I'll do in a second. Now, I just want to leave with a bit of a reflection for us, guys. So just drop in the chat. I would love to know, what's one action you're committing to today? What's one action that you're committing to today? Now, the reason why I'm making you do this is because you might have heard, and hopefully you have, heard a ton of things that you're like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, boom, yeah, ego depletion. That sounds great. Oh, I'm going to read that book. Or hopefully you've taken so much from today. Hopefully you're going to watch the replay and watch this again. But I also know that as procrastinators, if we give ourselves too much to do, we won't do it. So if we just choose one thing, guys, maybe just one thing that we're going to commit to, or one action that we're going to do after today, then we're more likely to get it done. Let's check the chat, see what we got blowing up. Okay. So some saying booking a call, yeah. Also diarise my time and colour code energy killers and fillers. Yeah, fab. Alyssa's saying find a graphic designer and Fiverr. Yeah, amazing. Free yourself up some time if you're procrastinating on that particular thing and someone else can help you do it. Bingo. Joey's saying shift tasks around to align with energy. I'm loving these. Amber is saying you need to look up on applying for a provisional license. Fantastic. And guys, obviously being here live as well, we are going to kick into a co-working session in a minute as well. So some of these actions maybe we can get cracking with straight away. Brilliant. Any other actions that we're taking, guys? Fab. Keep them coming in the chat. Cool. And I just want to leave with this quote. The Slight Edge. Not sure if you've read this by Jeff Olson. It's actually quite a good book. And he said that the journey starts with a single step, not thinking about the steps. And I loved it because I was like, oh my God, how true is that? It's not about thinking about the thing. It's about doing the thing. And how many times are we holding ourselves back because we're not doing the thing? So hopefully you've got your action, you've got the thing that you're committing to. Just make that the first step, guys. Just make that the easy next step. So obviously we're going to stay now. You've got the live bonus happening in a minute. But as I said, I just want to invite you to take a look at the Business by Design program, because if procrastination is something that you want to beat once and for all, if you know that, you know, a webinar is great, love to learn, we all love that, but actually you know that you need to combine it with that longer term strategy. Like, where are you going in the next 6 months? You know that you need to pair it with the energy-led time management. You know that you also need to look at your identity, your mindset, you know, all that good juicy stuff as well. And then the Business by Design program could be absolutely perfect for you. Now, I know there's no perfect time, but September, fresh vibes, back to school, and also at the moment it is half price. And the reason why it's half price, I'll be brutally honest with you, is because I'm giving it a makeover. So in exchange for people joining at this discounted rate, I'm obviously taking feedback to make it even juicier. So if you want some more information on this, please, please, please email me, Instagram me, or whatever. Not Instagram me, what do you call it? DM me. Instagram me. So it's half price at the moment. The deadline for that is the 7th of September. Sunday, the 7th of September is your last chance to get that at the discount, 50% off, half price. So when you join, just to quickly let you know, obviously we're going to break that cycle of procrastination. You're actually going to start following through on those ideas, on those actions, on those to-do lists. We're not just thinking about it. We're also going to get you a really clear strategy and direction for the next 6 months. So you're here, you want to go there. How are we going to do it? You're also really going to start embodying and feeling like the CEO of your business, your life, and your time. So this is the confidence, the belief, the identity, the mindset, the language, the thoughts, all of that, because it's not enough just to go, oh, here's my plan. Like, we've got to actually take action on it. And also, you'll never feel alone either. And there's such power being in a tribe of people who get it, who are on the same journey as you. Now, I'll be really honest. There are millions of coaching programs out there. So why is this one different? First of all, this is not one of those coaching programs where you just get thrown into a group coaching setting and you get like an opportunity to ask one question on one call a week. It is not like that. It's also not full of self-paced modules, which, let's be honest, we've all done that, where we've bought a course, it's been self-paced and we've never done anything with it and it just sits in our inbox. I've definitely been guilty of that. What it's about is getting you started strong with hand-holding support. So we do a 360 review of where you're currently at. What's working, what's not, what needs tweaking. Could even be like a time audit. And then we do a VIP strategy session with yourselves so that you get really clear on what's my goals, what's my strategy for the next 6 months. And then we create a 90-day plan so you can really start taking action with complete clarity. None of this, oh, I don't know where to start. Like, you've got this clear 90-day plan. My friend just signed up for a group coaching program, and she said they get a monthly call. Monthly call, and they're allowed to ask 2 questions a month each in the Voxer chat. And I was like, what? She's paid $4,000 for this. And I was just like, mate, it's an expensive question. Like, make sure you ask a great question. But anyway, so it's not like that. This is very much about hand-holding. It's very much about real-time support. It's about community. It's not one size fits all, because that doesn't work. Everyone's individual, so it's not about one size fits all. And as I said, it's not self-paced, you know, do it in your own time module learning. Yes, there's resources if you need it, but you know, you don't have to do things in a set order. It's very much bespoke to your journey. So when we get you started, as I say, we do this 360 review, we do your VIP strategy, we create that 90-day plan so you're really, really clear on what the direction is that you go in. And then you'll have the support of the group and myself. So you're plugged into that community, the coaching, the accountability and the resources to keep you on track. We even have bonus sessions and planning sessions and accountability, like body doubling, if everyone's familiar with that term, like when you do co-working, just like you are here today, like the act of being in the room with someone else reduces that likelihood you're going to procrastinate and ups the chance that you're actually going to get some shit done. So all of that is baked into the program. as what we have is we have the weekly calls. You are allowed to ask more than one question. We have the weekly calls, but we also have the opportunity for you to join a WhatsApp group. We have, I drop in every Monday, every Friday, see where we are. Again, accountability check-ins. There's support between calls and hundreds of different resources as well. So you're never like on your own trying to figure it out, don't know what the next step is, because all that, quite frankly, just leads to procrastination. And as I said earlier, guys, do have, if this is sounding interesting, whether you're watching live or replay, what's it costing you to not take action? Like, I had a lady that, I didn't do the maths, by the way. If you know me, you know that I can't do maths. And she was doing the maths on this because at the moment with the revamp round, it's only £120 per month, which works out to £4 a day. Most people are spending £4 a day on a Starbucks habit that's just leaving them with caffeine jitters and no accountability. And she did the maths on it, and she said, as a VA, you charge £30 an hour. She was like, if I can save myself an hour a week, that is the charge of a VA. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is the hour. And I was like, well, do you think you're going to save more than an hour a week by being in this group? She was like, yeah. And I had another client actually that's just joined, Becky, shout out to her, fabulous woman. And she, again, I didn't do the maths, I can't do maths, she did it. And she did the maths and she went, if I join for 6 months, it's 120 a month. I was like, yeah. She went, I only need to have one client and I've got my whole 6-month investment back. I was like, well, do you think you could get one client in the next 6 months? She was like, yeah. 2 weeks later, she's got 2 clients. Now, obviously, my program isn't about promising clients and any of that rubbish. But my point is, when you take action, you make shit happen. Like, it's a game changer. So yes, there is a cost to joining. It's the cost of a Starbucks a day. But there's also probably a cost to you not joining. And if you go back to your temp check as well, guys, what was on that list? What was it that you were saying? Fuck, I'm holding myself back on that thing. Like, that thing never got done. That's been sitting on my to-do list for years. Because for the sake of a coffee a day, for the sake of like a 1 VA hour a week, like, we could be making huge changes there. As I said, really honest, it is the revamp round. We're coming to the end of it. The deadline to join is the 7th of September. I'm not doing any scary scales tactics where I'm like, if you don't join now, you never can. No, come join us at any time. It's just that if you're someone like me, you're like a bargain, it makes sense to join now whilst it's 50% off. And also September, New Year vibes could be absolutely perfect. If you've got any questions, please DM me or email me. Yeah, just bear in mind that 7th of September deadline is next Sunday. It is looming. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully that's been valuable for you. Hopefully you've learned something new. Hopefully as well you've understood a little bit more about your brain and go, oh, okay, yeah, we can apply this. You've understood more about energy and also how to hack your own procrastination. As I said, do get yourself booked in for a call. I know that the link is already in the chat. Do get yourself booked in for a call. Do also get yourself the resources like the audit. Join the YouTube community so you can see the new videos that I drop in. Before we take a really quick break and then go into the co-working bit, are there any questions? I'm more than happy to answer. If you've ever been on one of my workshops before, you will know that I am an absolute open bag, so I'm happy to share mistakes as well. So yeah, have we got any questions? Just feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself. Any questions? No? Okay, let's go on. Feel like I've explained everything then. That's good. Amazing. Okay. Amazing. Yeah, thank you, lovely. Thank you for being here. Cool. All right, guys. So if you do have any questions, you are so welcome to just message me at any time. A replay is going to go out as well with this. And if you are staying live for the co-working session now, we'll just take a really quick break just so that we can top up our teas or whatever. I did say a 15-minute break, but I don't think we probably need that actually. So I'll keep the Zoom running, and yeah, we can go straight into a little bit of co-work and taking action on the things that we said we were going to do.